I am Monica Hill, and this is another one of my videos of inspiring people. Oh, I'm doing this interview today on Mr. Frank L. Stoner.
How you doing?
And he is going to give us information on what he does, where he's located, and so on. So stay tuned. I am dressed a character today. Can you guess who I am representing? He actually died last year, January the 20th, 2018. I put my arm up like this, you should kind of know. He is an inspiring person to me because he gave me inspiration. I can do small jobs. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
This is a job probably that's really underestimated by the general public, but this is a profession that is needed so much because just about everybody drives. So I just want to give my testimony of working with Frank, or Frank working on my vehicle. Frank took a look at my vehicle. He asked me questions. He had some ideas what it could have been, and he was very honest with me. He had not done the job on my vehicle before that it may have been, which it ended up being my fuel pump. He diagnosed it, and I was able to order the part. I love the fact that he was very honest with me, and I knew that I had options and choices. I can trust him. I just thought it was going to cost me thousands of dollars, and it would have if I would have taken it to a Mercedes dealer.
Yes.
But you saved me. I was able to order my part and buy my part online. And you were able to replace my fuel pump and got me rolling for...
Man, you had never worked on a diesel before.
Yeah. You said, if I don't know, I'll figure it out. We'll get it done. And that's exactly what happened. So he took the time to answer any questions that I had. Anytime I called, if he didn't answer, he returned my call. He did not give me the runaround. He gave me upfront information, and he told it to me like it was. Some mechanics do bust your head, meaning they take advantage of you. It might be something simple that you need done to your car, and they might tell you something extra needs to be done. That didn't happen with me with Frank.
I say trust me to do exactly what you need to be done. I'm not gonna do more or less. You know, I'm gonna do exactly what you need to be done, and then I'm gonna write down what else you need to be done. So my whole focus is to get you done. So for any woman out there that does not know a lot about cars, I will say Frank is someone that you can trust to be honest with you, to tell you the truth. If he does not or has never done the job before, he will figure it out. Give him time. And if I can't fix it, I'm gonna make sure I point you in the direction. You know, this is my passion. So, you know, sometimes I might have to go look at a car again. And you know, I want to provide that service where, you know, if anything happens, I'll pull up on it. It's very seldom. I'm a 99%er. 99% of the stuff that move out of here, you can ask anybody. 99% of the stuff that go out here does not come back to the same thing. And it will not come back because I'm just OCD like that. So you are mobile also, if you have to be. Yes, I am. Okay. Wow, so I normally like to get everything out in the same day. Typically, I say 85% of the cars I get out the same day. Then you have your motor jobs, transmission jobs. My address is 1806 Ralph Avenue. I've been in business since 2012. I've been working on cars for about, I say 2005. My hours are about 9 to whenever. I'm almost 24 hours. I'm a suspension specialist. For some reason, that's easy to me. Suspension and steering, it's shocks, your outer and inner tie rods, your lower control arms, ball joints, sway bar links. So if a person has a lot of play in their wheel, in their steering wheel, or they need a front alignment, is that a suspension issue? Well, right now we can't do alignments, but that is a suspension and steering issue. If you're on the highway, you know, you kind of like let the car coast, and if it goes to the right or goes to the left, your suspension and steering is kind of... Do you have any specials going on right now? If you come and get a tune-up or something, I'll give you a free oil change if you bring your oil. Tune-ups sometimes can be $40 to $150, $200 on the real. Whenever I have to take the intake off, it's at least $120. Or you have your Buicks and early cars that you gotta go to the back, and it's kind of difficult changing the spark plug wires. So, but typically, about $80.
Are there any cars that are
challenging?
Too challenging for you that you prefer not to work on right now?
I don't really like working on Cadillacs. There's no car that I haven't worked on.
Okay.
Basically, Porsche, Chevy, Honda.
What's going on with Cadillacs that you prefer not to work on them?
Well, Cadillac was made from a black man. He's a smart man. I guess he don't want to be overdone, so he puts little traps in his car. You have to really tweak, and he don't want you messing with his car unless you at the dealership. So you really got to be on point and a meticulous mechanic to really deal with those. I will though, if you really want it done, or it's your only vehicle, then I If your vehicle's messed up, get it over here, I'll open the gate for it. If you can get it towed over here, then I'll welcome it in and get to it as soon as possible. You can contact me on my cell phone. That's 502-416-9144. Or you can look me up on Facebook, Frank L. Stoner. Either leave me a message, or sometimes you can FaceTime. Available. I answer it and try and give you the best advice that I can give you.
Now, tell us what's in the works for you.
We might be getting a store, a same-day auto parts store. That's in the workings right now, and I'm looking to offer a class for tires, tire changing, how to check your oils and everything before you go on a trip, how to become a mechanic. If you want to go through the basic courses and classes, we're working on it to offer maybe boots and tools and other things if you graduate.
So I'm inspired because I feel like if he can do it, if there's something that I want to do and I can come to him and ask him questions, he will be more than willing to show me. My dad tried to get me to work on vehicles when I was a younger lady, and I didn't want to do it. But when he saved me, literally saved me thousands of dollars on my vehicle repair, I said I better learn how to do some things on my own. So
come down here when we offer our class, and if you don't think you're too strong, I use long bars that help me get the strength of a 6'5". If you have the will, you have the way, and you got confidence in me, I'm gonna go to the ends of the earth to fix your car.
Okay. Now, what's the most challenging part as a mechanic?
Right. When I started off in a truck when I had all my tools, so I went straight to the customer. I picked up the part, and it's the same thing. I'm really doing everything.
When you have to order parts, do you go pick parts up?
I don't really charge for my parts. I let the customer get the parts.
Okay.
So that they know they're getting their saving through me. But if you want me to get the part and go through that, I might charge a little fee. And then I have a partner that helps me out whenever he can. But normally, I'm doing it by myself. So I get it done. If it's a big job like this one, I get it done. It's just I need patience.
What are you doing here?
I'm putting in a motor, other motor locked up in it, and
this is a really big job, I know.
Yeah, especially when you're doing it on your own. Sometimes I have 5 different people come in, and everybody wants that individual service.
Right.
I can't split myself in 5 people.
Right. It sounds like you may need some help. Use
that's why I'm trying to start
assistant.
This program. Yes,
okay, and maybe someone to do customer service for you.
Yes.
So anybody out there qualified, hey, you might want to call. What is the most challenging part of the industry that you've seen?
Getting paid.
Oh wow.
Being respected as a real mechanic.
So do people not want to pay, or when you tell them an amount that is above what they thought they should have paid, they give you issues or problems, or what?
Sometimes people don't have the money,
Okay.
you know, and it's hard not being able to do something that you love to help somebody out. So I have a conflict on getting somebody somewhere and getting paid.
Okay.
So that's what I meant about.
But you do accept credit cards, right?
Yes.
Cash. What should people expect from you when they come to you? Because you do have a lot of hats to wear. Sometimes you may have a really busy, hectic day. A lot of times when people's vehicle is broke down, it's not a good situation. They're stressed out. You know, they need their vehicles to get back and forth to work, pick kids up, and things like that.
Know that if you bring your car and I'm having a difficult time, it may not feel like it, but I'm just as much as stressed out as you, and I want that stress off of me. So I'm gonna try to work extra hard to make sure you're off.
So you take your business, your customers personal. It's not just a business for you, but you take it personal because you have that much pride in what
And
you
a
do.
lot of people, they depend on their cars.
Right.
So, you know, if you work out Hirschboro Lane and you stay in the West End, you're dependent on having your car and having it not break down every time you turn around.
Let him tell you some of the tips that everyone should do for maintenance on their
You're
vehicle.
supposed to change your oil every 3,000 miles. But there's another thing everybody doesn't know. Your coolant is directly connected to your transmission fluid. A lot of people's cars, they tend to go out and the transmission tends to go out. Well, most of the time it's because your coolant and your thermostat is not working. Your car overheats. Your car probably works at about 290. Over 290, it starts to burn the transmission fluid. So at your temperature gauge is 75%, it's burning your transmission fluid. Of course, if you go all the way, you're burning your motor oil, which can mess up your car. But, you know, your transmission is a large part of you moving. So you need to check your transmission fluid every 50 to 60,000 miles. Take it to a reputable service station and get that flushed. So, and if you take your car to the dealership a lot of times and they tell you that you need regular scheduled maintenance on flushing your fluids, you should do it because that prolongs the car. If you suck out your gas, if you drain your oil all the time, then your gaskets for your valve cover gaskets, they stay lubricated. Your oil pan stays lubricated. If you change your fluid in your antifreeze, then your transmission fluid doesn't burn up. Your water pump, you know, they don't know that antifreeze breaks down too, like any other fluid.
You said the first thing to do is
You should check your motor oil.
check your motor oil.
Maybe every week, Sundays when you're off. Check your motor oil.
Your oil levels, right? Okay.
Your oil level. Check your antifreeze. Make sure you have the adequate amount of antifreeze in your car, and you know, and your transmission fluid, because those three fluids are vital to your car.
Okay. So check all your fluids,
Check all your fluids.
and then oil changes
Oil changes every 3,000 miles if you can get them, and every 60 to 50,000 miles, change your transmission fluid.
Okay.
That's gonna save your transmission.
Okay.
That's like $1,500 worth of advice.
What is the number one problem you see that people make the mistake not doing that messes
People
up their
make
car?
the mistake of not holding dealerships accountable for the cars that they're selling. That's the number one thing. A lot of states don't have the DMV, like they don't check the emissions anymore. So you buy a car that has a messed up computer on it. So, you know, you're changing spark plugs and wires, and you find out that it's none of that. It's the actual brain that's stuck on open loop that's causing your car to act the way it's acting. So, you know, you might spend $3,500 on a car and the whole emission system is shot. So you might drive it for a week and it cuts out. Well, guess what? They don't care about that. They still want their money.
So you think it was connected to the computer, the brains of the It's interesting because I saw a video last week or the week before. This new technology is something, there was a guy that hacked a man's car while he was driving it. And he took over the controls of the car and he turned the car off. Now, a lot of times there are dealerships that if you don't make your car payment, they can turn your car off and you won't be able to, I don't care what good shape it's in, you won't be able to go out there and start it if you don't make your car payment. That's kind of scary to me. But basically this man could have wrecked this man's car and killed him and no one would have ever known what happened. It would have looked like the man just lost control of his car. What do you say about the advancement that's made and how difficult is it to work on cars that have a lot of new technology?
It's just, I've been dealing with it for so long. The only thing I really don't mess with is the electrical cars.
Okay.
Because the batteries, and you still gotta have gloves and all that kind of stuff, but
do you have to have special equipment to check it?
You have to have special equipment to mess with the hybrid. So more or less I can do the essential stuff like the alternators and all that stuff. We gotta get away from buying these cars because they're trying to get you under their thumb.
Yeah, you won't have any choice but to take them to certain places.
I know it's got a lot of bells and whistles on it, but we have to reject that because the more that we accept it, the more that they have more control over our cars and our situation. I mean, you know, they have this show that it's probably like 5 or 6 or 7 years old. It's called the Bait Cars, where they would take a car and they would put it in a impoverished neighborhood and leave the keys in it. And you know, some young man, young lady was gonna jump in the car and they were gonna drive off, and then they cut the car off. They've been had the technology. Now they're able to make it cheap enough to incorporate it in every single vehicle. So, you know, you got to be careful with that. I offer a service too where you can pick any car you want to pick and I'll rebuild it for you. So that'll cut you out of all that stuff.
All right, like some of those old school vehicles, they probably don't make some of the parts anymore, or you have to special order them or something.
Well, I've been in the parts game since 2012, so you know that's what I first specialized in, getting parts for cars. Because when I was coming up, you know, I made straight A's and B's in school. I was the brain of the operation, so I was more or less into getting the latest tools and getting the latest information on cars. So then I turned into a hardcore mechanic. Okay. So, you know, parts were my first thing. So there's no problem with getting parts. Even if you got a rare car, if you have patience, we're gonna find you.
All right, and last but not least, what advice would you give to young people wanting to get into the industry, or to anyone who wants to get into mechanical repair?
Anything takes sacrifice. And when I was at the bottom, I worked myself up to being there. So nobody's gonna stop you from doing anything that you wanna do. In the automotive industry, you have to have assets, which means, you know, your lights, your guns. Nowadays, you gotta have a battery operated gun. You cannot have the air because, you know, you never know if you gotta go to somebody and go fix their car. So you gotta make yourself mobile. JCC was where I graduated from. Great program.
Okay, so it's basically about a year for the program?
So all the way through, maybe 2 years.
Okay.
But if you stretch it and don't go summer, you're gonna do 4 years.
Okay. What would you say to someone who goes through the program, finishes the program, or has finished the program, and they're looking for someone to work for, or to work with? Would you be a good person for them to contact?
You can contact me if you want to work. Serious inquiries only. It's a hard job. I mean, I heard if it's cold, if it's hot, if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to work hard for your family or for your future family, then I give you every tool that you need to go anywhere in the world and be successful. Well,
thank you, Mr. Frank L. Stoner, for your very informational interview, for the time that you take and the care that you show with all of your customers, and especially with me. I appreciate what you did for me. I appreciate the money that you saved me on my repair. Thank you for being part of my Inspiring People interview. I said, you must be kin to me because I come from a family of learn how to do it yourself if you can and not be afraid or intimidated by a job. So that's my experience with Frank as my mechanic. He is someone that I have referred my daughter to. She brought her car, air wasn't working. He fixed it in less than 5 minutes.
My name is Same Day. So wow. So thank you.